Deportivo La Coruna, I'm an Aberdeen fan. We're a coastal town, a fishing town, a small town of 200,000 people. We won 2 European trophies. Therefore, I feel really inspired by, attracted to Deportivo La Coruna. You go there after Racing Santander. What are the elements, the president, the coach Irureta, who isn't talked about enough, the great players you play with, what are the elements that allow Deportivo La Coruna to win the title, the Spanish title? A Spanish title where you beat Madrid 5-2, you beat Athletic home and away, you beat Barcelona, you beat Sevilla, you beat Valencia, you win the title, you win the Super Cup, eventually you'll win the Cup in Madrid's own territory in the Bernabeu on their 100th birthday. You go to a Champions League semi-final. Let's try, in your memory or your analysis, to explain the beauty of that project.
Yeah, that's amazing. And really thanks to football, because I have experience in my life the 360 degrees options that football provides to you. I've been in the biggest club in the world for me, Real Madrid, in the youth system, former player, and reaching the first team. That this is an experience, something that you never remember, you never forget. Succeed in the first team, but later the football have another phases. And I moved to Racing de Santander 1 year, a low-team profile. I was at the half-season top scorer leader. That's amazing. I remember in my start as a player when I was young as a forward. I was playing Racing Santander as a forward, and I was in Christmas days with my family at home. Taking the grapes, you know,
the grapes at the 12 o'clock bells of New Year.
As a pichichi of La Liga.
Oh, nice.
You can imagine it.
That's a good memory.
That's a good memory for not a special forward.
The grapes tasted sweet that year.
Okay, half time, not at the finish, but half time, okay, it's okay. Anyway, so I learned this other football in a humble team, struggling. Just the target and the objective is to stay in the first division. But from there also I had chances to go, because I was outstanding as a scoring player. I had the possibility to go to national team and also to move to Deportivo La Coruna. That Deportivo La Coruna is this kind of thing that suddenly appears in football from the youth system, not from the youth system, from the youth level, low level, sorry. They were struggling in the third division of Spain for many, many years. But the small city, the northwest, rainy, windy, very nice people, for sure, I tell you. I spent later 10 years of my life professional and not professional, as retired. So my son was born in La Coruna, so I have a piece of La Coruna in my heart for sure. and at that point, the president, I think, is one of the most important things that happened for Deportivo La Coruna, Augusto Lendoiro. There was a time in Spanish football where there was a fight between the TV operators trying to get the monopolio, no? There were different ones. So the teams, they were negotiating by themselves. Okay, I'm with this platform, I'm with this other. So there was a moment that the business around football, the football industry was in the way to build the good structure to develop business football. No? And Lendoiro was very smart at that moment, because he made the best negotiation in football ever, I think, in Spain. For a club that this is a humble club, he went to banks to advance the money for TV rights for different the years. First, he signed long-term contract with TV operators, okay, because they promote from the third to the second, from the second to the first, and suddenly in a few years they had the chance to win La Liga with that famous penalty missed by Jukic in the last round of La Liga. No? And that was a point that everybody knew who was Deportivo La Coruna, because that was something historic. He bought very good players, young players, especially talented players. He focused in under 21 national teams, Europe good teams, and he brought, for example, Roy Makaay, think, very good friend. Under 21 with Holland. He brought me from Racing de Santander, but he was in the under 21 national team, Spain national team. Another couple, Cesar. I remember he brought young talent.
Capdevila eventually.
The following year, but it was a scaling, no? Scaling. He mixed very well between talent players, quality players, spending the money, also paying transfers. That was something unusual for a very humble club to have the capacity to pay a transfer for good players, for international players. Nowadays, this is not possible.
No.
You can imagine that. And also experienced players, good players that they had, because they had the Brazilians, Mauro Silva. I didn't play with Bebeto, Rivaldo, because they left before, but they had Mauro Silva, they had Donato, they had Flavio Conceição, they had Djalminha. So we had very good squad, thanks to the president decisions. And later, of course, we have to give the credit to the coach, the way he was training, Irureta, and they did the perfect mix to succeed in that environment.
What was it? Most people won't remember Irureta as an Atletico Madrid midfielder.
Yeah.
So he was a very successful footballer. He won
Top
the title.
quality player. Quality player. But I told you before, football is so quick. So what happened today happens, and then bye. You can imagine. You look 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. The new generations, they don't focus back, they focus in the present.
This is a small window of opportunity to try to explain a little bit about his personality and his ideas. One of the things I remember all the time was that Diego Tristan was one of the exceptional strikers playing there. And Diego Tristan loved to go to the casino in the hotel. And Irureta was living in the hotel.
Yeah.
So every night before he went to bed, he would go down to have a little look to kick Tristan out of the casino.
Well, it's not 100% like that, but it's close. It's close. I explained to you. Okay, I reached Deportivo La Coruna, and first season we won La Liga. That's amazing.
It's a miracle.
That's amazing. And with this mix of experienced players and new young talent players. Then following season, Lendoiro continued bringing good players like Diego Tristan, Capdevila, Valeron, Molina. He took advantage of Atlético de Madrid relegation to the second division to choose players from them and bring to Deportivo de La Coruna these three players.
Capdevila, who become a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Molina, who's now the director of football for the federation.
Yeah. And Valeron, maybe, in my opinion, one golden ball miss for Spanish football.
Fantastic.
If he had played in Real Madrid or Barça, for sure he would have the chance with the focus that these big clubs they provide to you and the marketing around them, because he had the talent. The football he had amazing talent.
Spanish Zidane.
Yeah. Zidane is amazing also, but for me, Zidane had the chance to play in a big club like Juve, that was like a trampoline, no? I don't know if you say trampoline. Yeah. Trampoline for him.
To go upwards in your life, in your
Valeron,
career.
he didn't have this chance because, he reached Deportivo La Coruna, and there he outstand, and Lendoiro had the capacity also to remain the talent. That was something that you have to give the merit to the president, because normally in the humble teams, when there is a talent that succeeds, the big clubs, they came to win.
And you take the money.
Okay. When I became coach, I understood a lot of things that I didn't understand during my times as player with Irureta. In that dressing room, we had big talent, big hunger. All the players, the experienced ones and the young ones, we were hungry of succeed. That was very, very important. But we were complaining about the method of training that we had, because it was exactly every day the same. So I was 7 years in Deportivo La Coruna contract, the six first with Irureta, and we did all the Mondays the same, all the Tuesdays the same, all the Wednesdays the same, like this during 6 years. So you can imagine, with the players' mentality that I told you before, that we complain for everything, how was our concern?
It's boring.
The same.
Here we go again.
This is something that in the new methodology of coaching, they touch to the new coaches. It's very important to choose trainings, change the drills, because if you do always the same, the players get in a boring mood, and then this is wrong to get the high performance, you don't improve, and like that, no? But it comes from that days that where the players were complaining about the methods. But I have to tell you, I have to be honest, and I recognize that method helped us a lot. It was boring, okay, but not so much.
Habits?
Habits and expertise. When you do many times one thing, you get an expert, you get a master. So our trainings we were repeating the things, but we were being master and master and master. So that's why that Deportivo La Coruna performing in such a high level that we were standing for many years during all this generation of very good players we had, but not only in Spain, facing the big clubs like Barça and Real Madrid. We won La Liga first year, but we were second, we were third, but also we went to Europe and we won in every big stadium of Europe, every big stadium. So the method was success.
I look at your record against the big teams, like, for example, against Arsenal, against Juventus. Played 6, won 3, drew 3, no defeats. Deportivo La Coruna against Juventus. I could go on, but I highlighted things like Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Manchester United.
I play at Highbury. I remember that day. That amazing shot. What a beautiful stadium.
Which when you won 2-0?
Yeah.
So
also when we lost with an amazing
5-1, but we don't need to talk about that.
The Invincibles.
The Invincibles were fantastic.
Yeah.
But
we beat them, eh?
You played 4,
Also
won 3, lost 1 against Arsenal. And genuinely, the list goes on, whether it's Manchester United played 5, won 2, lost 3.
Yeah, but we won at Old Trafford, we won at Highbury, we won at the Prince Park against PSG, we won at Turin, we won at Milan, we won at Munich against Bayern, Olympic Stadium. No one team in Spain in the entire history was able to win at the Olympic Stadium against Bayern in Munich. We did with Deportivo. Years later, Real Madrid won, but not in the Olympic Stadium.